Welcome to Family Gamer TV. We've just been having a look at Abzu, a new game from Giant Squid, and I've got creative director Matt Nava with me. So tell us about the game.
So Abzu is an underwater exploration game where you are a diver who's lost in this ocean world, and you have to figure out how to go deeper, and the purpose is to discover yourself as you go deeper.
So that sort of explains the mechanics of the game. But what struck me was actually quite an emotional quality to diving underwater and having a sense of freedom and sort of wonder at what you encounter.
Yeah, I think that one of the core features of the game is that we really want to capture the majesty of just experiencing the underwater environment. I'm a scuba diver, and what I realized was that the second you hit the water, all the air gauges and tanks and equipment just disappear. They're just there to give you this access to this amazing world. And so we wanted to capture that essence of diving in the game.
And so with that, is there, perhaps with diving in general, is there a sort of sense of story and narrative to those diving experiences?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the big features of the game is we have this world's full of life and all these creatures, and we wanted to create interactions that are emergent in the space, that the player can kind of weave together and make their own narrative through these environments. And as they go, we also weave this overarching story and emotional narrative that the diver goes through as she discovers her past.
The bit I played, as I explored, I found some sort of blue dots and some little sort of miniature underwater craft that then seemed to follow me around.
Yes, we're calling them the drones, and the diver can discover these drones and repair them and then swim around with them. They're her little friends, and they can find these deposits of a mineral resource that they collect. And as you go deeper, you'll realize the ramifications of collecting this resource and what it is and how it relates to the environment. And it's part of the key elements of the story of the game.
And while I was playing it, I've got young children, and they've been really keen on the game Endless Ocean on the Wii, and there's similarities there. Was that and other games an inspiration?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of really cool underwater games. We try to do it a little bit differently. Instead of being focused on the simulation aspects of being underwater, being a scuba diver, air gauges, and tracking fish and logging their data, we wanted to focus more on the atmospheric quality. But yeah, we have lots of inspiration. We played lots of games, and we're very inspired by the works of others. So yeah.
And that seems to lead you, like the diver seems super flexible, which sounds, that's maybe the experience of diving. So how are those mechanics sort of modelled?
Well, what's really interesting is the experience of diving is that you have all this heavy gear, and once you hit the water, it feels weightless, and you can float in the water, and you're completely neutrally buoyant, so you don't go up or down. And we wanted to take that experience and really kind of run with it, give the player this almost ballet-like motion in the water that I think is really kind of what the dream of scuba diving wishes to be. You don't, as a scuba diver, you don't want to have to worry about your air. You don't want to have to worry about your gear. You just want to be in the water and create a connection with the sea and the sea life. So, yeah. And
so, I mean, maybe this is a bit too. You only just announced the game, but when someone's finished and played through Abzu, is there a particular emotion, or what's the sort of takeaway from that experience?
Well, there's a lot left to be found out in the game itself, obviously, but the story is ultimately a hopeful story. The diver finds herself. She is searching for herself, and is trying to discover what she is and how she relates to this ocean. What's her place in this space? And hopefully, by playing through that narrative, people can reflect on their own kind of identity and where they belong in this world of ours. So.
Now, I know your background was working on some games. You were part of that game company for Flower and Journey.
Yes.
Could you maybe talk a little bit about that and
Sure.
how that's led to then your own company?
Yeah, so I got into the games industry working as art director on Flower.
It's a nice way to start.
Yes, it was a very lucky opportunity for me. I came in halfway through that project, and then I was on Journey for the whole thing, and learned a ton from that team. They're a really special development team, talented guys, and taught me a lot about what games could be and how they can really create experiences that were different and emotional and meaningful to people. So after Journey, everybody went off to do their own sort of thing, and I eventually ended up founding this studio, Giant Squid, where I really wanted to take those ideas further and create experiences that were beautiful and lush and meaningful to people. So that's what Giant Squid's all about.
So another crossover with Journey is that you have the same composer is it Austin Wintory?
Yes. Austin Wintory, he's a fantastic and talented guy. The honored of working with him on Journey, and he wrote the score for that, which was the first Grammy-nominated video game soundtrack. And he's been working with us from day one on Abzu, interweaving the music with the game and really helping us create the atmosphere. And it's really a collaborative process, creating the moods and environments, and we really use the music to drive the story. So it's a fantastic opportunity to work with Austin again.
Do you think Abzu is going to be a good game for young players and for players who haven't got that experience?
Yeah, one thing that we want to do with Abzu is create an experience that's really accessible to a lot of people. We've taken out a lot of the kind of typical gamey mechanisms that you see in games that are hard for people to understand or hard for younger audiences to access. There's no game over screen. There's no way for the diver to die and have to replay areas. Anything she does is okay. And it also creates a continuity to the timeline of the game. There are dangers and scary environments that we'll take you through as a part of this narrative, but in the big picture, the game is really focused on this atmospheric exploration, and I think that that's something that is going to be accessible to younger people and older people and anybody who wants to play the game.
And I noticed that it didn't have, currently, the motion control tilt sensitivity with the PlayStation controller. Is that something you're looking at including, or is that something you decided to leave out?
We've done prototypes and we haven't solved how it would work exactly yet. We'll probably continue to work on it. We're not sure if it will ship with the game or not at this point. But, yeah.
Well, I'm sure people can't wait to get their hands on it. So, how are we close to release, and has it got a price?
So we are shooting to release in the first half of 2016, and the price is not announced yet, so we're still working on that. But it's going to be on the PlayStation 4 and the PC.
Great. Well, thanks for your time, and thanks for a really inspiring video game.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.